In this video, I am going to show you how you can reduce your work-related stress in under 10 minutes a day using meditation. And this is not going to be one of those close your eyes, contort your body, and blank out your brain, which is certainly one way to meditate. But I'm going to show you the specific method that I learned at Benson Henry Institute for Mind-Body Medicine when I went to Harvard several years ago. And this technique is specifically for people who think they can't meditate, who feel like they're bad at it, or who don't have time to start to develop a long-term seated meditation practice. If you have the time to do that, I encourage you to, but if you need a meditation hack, this is going to be it. And I'm going to make sure this is simple and easy for you to understand. This is the technique that I've taught over 350 times when I do workshops all over the world for organizations like Merck, Raytheon, and United States Postal Service. I even created a stress reduction program for the US military that involved this exact technique. So sit back, get ready. This video is going to give you the exact step-by-step way you can meditate simply and easily, and you can start to reduce your workplace stress or life stress. And I'm going to make this simple enough that you never have to waste your time watching another meditation video again. So let's go. Step one, this is the most basic possible thing. It's your breath. So right now, if you're in a safe place to do so, don't do this if you're in the car driving or if you're operating some sort of equipment you have to pay attention to. I want you just for a moment, close your eyes and take a deep breath in and out, and then open your eyes. Beautiful. Great job. You did that. That was so simple. I'm going to have you do it again, but this time I'm going to give you a little bit of instruction. So I want you to do that breath again, but this time I want you to really watch the breath. And what I mean by that is I want you to observe the breath as if you're watching someone else breathe. And what you're looking for is I want you to see if you can tell where that inhale starts and stops, and there's this brief pause at the top of the breath. And then where that exhale starts and stops, and there's this brief pause at the bottom of the breath. So go ahead, let your eyes close and do that breath again, this time really watching it. Beautiful. A little bit different than the first one, huh? So let me give you one more breath technique before we move on to other things. So if you're in a safe place to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to go back to the concentrating on the breathing, the rise and fall of the chest, that inhale and exhale. And I want you to do what's called square breathing. So on the inhale, you're going to do inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And you can literally draw this on like the desk in front of you. You can draw it on the palm of your hand. You can draw it on the roof of your mouth. You can just visualize it in your head if you're a good visualizer. You can do this with your foot if you're sitting at your desk. But I want you to picture drawing that square as you're doing that inhale, 2 parts, exhale, 2 parts. So go ahead and close your eyes. We're just going to do this for a minute. I'm going to move my hands if you need to peek. And go ahead and take that breath and begin now. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, up, across. Exhale, down, across. Inhale, up, across. Exhale, down, across. Inhale, up, across. Exhale, down, across. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Go ahead at your own pace for a little bit with the inhale and the exhale. Great, keep drawing that square. And finish up the square you're working on and open your eyes and come back to the room. Beautiful. What a fabulous technique. It is so simple to do. It's one of the easier ones that I teach. Step 2, my favorite part, and this is what you're tuning into this video for, the mini meditation. So this was taught to me at Harvard. Benson Henry Institute for Mind-Body Medicine. They did a bunch of medical courses for stress reduction, a lot of programs. I studied with Thich Nhat Hanh there, Jon Kabat-Zinn, Dr. Daniel Brown, the doctor, not the author. And I learned all sorts of different meditations, but this is the one that really stuck with me. And I have taught this probably to millions of people. It is incredibly simple. You do not have to contort yourself. You do not have to close your eyes if you don't want to, but the benefits are huge. So right now, I am going to teach you this. I do want you to close your eyes if you're in a safe place to do so, just as I teach you. So go ahead and let your eyes gently close. And I'm going to have you just focus on your breathing like we just did in this previous exercise. Just noticing the rise and fall of the chest. And on your next inhale, think, I am. And on all of your inhales, think, I am. And on your next exhale, think, at peace. And on all of your exhales, think, at peace. Inhale, I am. Exhale, at peace. And when thoughts intrude, which they inevitably will, just dismiss them without judgment. Let them float away like clouds on a summer day. Return to the breath and the I am at peace. And you can relax your shoulders, and you can unclench your hands, unclench your feet and your bum. Relax everything that is not actively holding you in the position that you're in right now. Inhale, I am. Exhale, at peace. And do one more. Inhale, I am. Exhale, at peace, and open your eyes and come back to the room. You just meditated. Congratulations. This is one of the simplest things that I have ever learned, and I have studied so many different kinds of meditation. This immediately stops the fight or flight response. Let's bring in some affirmations. It is estimated that we have about 60,000 thoughts a day, and 50,000 of those are negative. That's insane. That's an incredible amount of negative thoughts. And with every negative thought, it not only leads to more and more negative thoughts, it also leads to negative outcomes, and it creates stress. So much of our stress is created in our brain. Affirmations help with this because affirmations shift us out of the negative thinking into the positive thinking. The first thing we have to remember to do is ask what we want, because you can't affirm things if you don't know what you're actually after. You don't get into an Uber and say, take me someplace. So if you say something like, I am prosperous and abundant, money flows easily to me. My favorite one, I accept money from unexpected sources. One of my favorites. So affirmations, I highly recommend you do them. Make them short, positive, in the present moment, and repeat them often. And if you really want to make them optimal, do them that last half hour before you go to bed. Step 4, and our final step, making this all stick with mindfulness and presence. As I said before, there's no stress in this present moment. And one of the best ways to stay anchored in this present moment, other than the breath work, the meditation, and using affirmations, is mindfulness. And there's a couple different ways to do mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply going about a task with presence, focus, a beginner's mind, not doing it the way you've always done it, but kind of looking at each step as new. The other way you can do it is actually pick a task that you have to do anyway. I like to use the example of doing the dishes, and decide that you're going to do the dishes mindfully. And it's, again, if thoughts intrude, when thoughts intrude, dismiss them without judgment. And I'll tell you why that's important in just a second, but I want to walk you through this exercise. So perhaps you're doing the dishes mindfully. You're not going to listen to a podcast. You're not going to talk to your friend. You're not going to daydream. You're just going to be fully present for the task at hand. And you're going to bring all your senses in. So maybe you notice how the water feels on your hands. Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it hot? Can you feel the sliminess of the soap? And as you're feeling a plate, can you notice that, oh, there's a piece of food that I missed? Okay. And then you're listening to the dishes clink in the sink, and maybe you can hear the bubbles crackling as they're forming. Maybe the water's pouring in. You can hear that gushing sound. You take an inhale, and you can smell that lemon or that orange scent wafting out of the sink. And you open your eyes and you see the bubbles forming in the sink and how the dishes glint because they're wet. And I don't know about you, but every time I put the bottle of soap down, there's a little bubble that goes bloop, and it kind of pops off the top of the bubble and it floats towards the light and it swirls with this little rainbow in it. And eventually it pops and there's this little spray of water that happens. And as you do that, you realize not only do you have a sink full of clean dishes, you basically just meditated. And why the if thoughts intrude, dismiss them without judgment part's important is kind of the whole point of this. I don't care if you can do the dishes mindfully. I mean, that's great. I'm excited for you. But the real point of it is to allow those thoughts to pass through, to allow those thoughts to just be dismissed, because our stress comes and our judgment comes and our suffering comes from attaching to those thoughts. So for formal seated meditation, it's not about, oh, the stupid thought. That's a judgment thing, right? That's trying to change the isness of the moment, which Eckhart Tolle talks about. We have to accept the isness of the moment. And allowing those thoughts to just drift by without attachment and without judging, that is really the point of doing all of this. So that's it, folks. That's the way that you can reduce your stress in less than 10 minutes a day. The affirmations, the mindfulness practices, the breath work, the mini meditation, pick any combination of those things that work for you. This is just scratching the surface. If you want to learn about how stress really affects you and learn about other techniques, go ahead and click that link. It'll take you to my full stress reduction program that is completely free for you. Also, if you want me to come to your office, company, organization, or retreat and help you learn how to reduce stress in your organization, go ahead and click the link in the description below. It'll take you right to my website where you can book a call directly with me and I can talk about how I can be of service to you. So thank you so much for being here. I hope your meditations are vast and simple and quiet in your brain, and I'll see you next time.